Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video, I will be showing you step by step how to create a real estate website. There is absolutely no coding required, and I will walk you through this entire process step by step. The website is built with this clean and minimalistic design. Everything on this website is completely customizable, and I will show you how you can customize this to your preference. In this section, we have two buttons where your clients or customers will be able to click either I'm looking to buy, and this is going to take them to see all of the properties that are for sale. Right now, I have two houses that are listed for sale on this website, and over here in the map area, we have locations and it shows the exact house in this location when your customer clicks on the pin. We can also go into this I am looking to rent section, and this is going to show all of the properties that are to rent, once again showing the location of the property with this map area. Scrolling down on the homepage, we then have this section that shows a little bit more information about your company, and all of these buttons are completely clickable, taking your clients over to the listings area. We also have this section to read client success stories, where people can click in and they will be taken over to this success story section where there are some testimonials from our clients. Going back to the homepage, we then have the featured listing section, which is going to show the featured listings that we have on this website. Once again, this is completely customizable and you can show whatever listings that you want in this section. We also have this meet our agent section, which shows all of the agents that are working for your real estate firm. Don't worry if you are an individual realtor and you want to build this website for yourself. You can replace this section with just an image of you, and I will show you exactly how to do this. If we click into more info, this is going to take us over to this page of the website where it gives us some more information about the realtors or yourself if you are a solo realtor. Finally, we have this navigation bar at the top where people can click through any of these menus. We also have an About Us section, which gives more information about the company, and a Contact Us section where your clients can get in contact. I will be taking you through this entire website build step by step, click by click. So even if you are brand new to building websites and you have never built a website before, all you have to do is follow along with this tutorial and you will walk away from this video with a beautiful and professional real estate website. So the first thing that we need to do is go ahead and grab hosting. The best website hosting that I have found is through Hostinger. So go ahead and click the first link in the description of that video. That will take you over to Hostinger and I will meet you there. So once you have clicked on that link and you are now on Hostinger, all we are going to do is click on Claim Deal right here. And that is going to take us down to this section. Now we have three options right here. We have Premium, we have Business, and we have Cloud Startup. I always use, and I would recommend, the business plan right here. The reason being is we have a much better performance, up to 5 times as fast. And I have tried Premium in the past. However, when you start adding in a few different widgets and a few of the things that we need to add into WordPress, it can really slow the website down and it's just not the best. Cloud Startup, on the other hand, it's just a little bit too much of overkill. It does have 10x performance right here, but I have not really found much of a difference between using Business and Cloud Startup when we are creating a website just like this. Now, with that being said, if you are on a super tight budget, then you absolutely can go with Premium. I just find Business to give the best performance. So just go for the plan that you are going to select, and then click on Add to Cart right here. And that is going to take us over to this screen where it asks us to choose a period. Now, by default, the 48 months is going to be selected. And as you can see, this is the best in terms of pricing, but only if you know for a fact that you are going to have your appointment booking website for the next 4 years. For me personally, like that's just too far out. I wouldn't really be sure on having the site for that long. So I usually just go for 12 months. Now, the reason I go with 12 months over the monthly is because, first of all, it is far more cost effective. And secondly, you get a free domain in the first year. Now, if we go for the 1 month right here, you can see this is $14.99. Now, this is pounds, so this is probably closer to $16, $17 maybe. But you also have to pay for your domain. So it's about $15 for the domain. So effectively, if you go for the monthly plan, you're paying around $35 for the month. Whereas if we go with the 12-month plan, you can see it's currently $53 after the big discount that we get, but we also get that free domain. So I personally prefer to pay the extra $20 and have this for an entire year, rather than paying $30 for a month. So once you have selected your plan, we just want to go down here and you can enter in the email that you would like to sign up for Hostinger with, as well as creating a password for Hostinger. Once you have entered that information, we can then go down and select a payment method. So we have credit card, PayPal, Google Pay, or I think this is cryptocurrency, but I've never used it. So select the payment method and then you can just go down and enter in this information and then click on Submit Secure Payment. I'm going to do that right now. It's then going to take a few seconds as this goes ahead and loads in, and it then greets us with this page that says hello. So just go ahead and click on Start Now, and then it's going to ask who are you creating the website for. So you can go for creating the website for myself, creating it for somebody else. It doesn't really matter, you can go for anything here, but in this example, I'm just going to say I'm creating this for myself. And then we want to choose here, I'm building it myself. It's then going to ask what type of website you want to build. Once again, this doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect anything about the website, how it looks, anything like this. So you can go ahead and select any of these. And then it's going to ask if you need help building this website. So just go ahead and click no thanks as you are watching this tutorial. It's then going to ask if you want to create or migrate a website. Now, migrating a website means that you have a website on another hosting provider that you want to transfer over to Hostinger. That is not what we are going to do. So just go ahead here and click on Create New Website. Next, it's going to ask if we want to build this with the Hostinger AI Builder or with WordPress. Of course, we are going to click WordPress. And now it's going to ask us to create login details for our WordPress account. So earlier on in the video, we created our Hostinger account, and now we are going to go ahead and create our WordPress account right here. So by default, the administrator email is going to be the exact same as the one you signed up to Hostinger with. So just leave this as it is, and then you can go ahead and create a password for your WordPress account. On this next screen, it's going to ask us if we want to add any plugins. You absolutely can do this. I do not usually do this personally, as the more plugins we have, the slower the website is going to be. And these plugins we just don't really have any use for. So I always go for skip. I will manage plugins later. It will then ask us to choose from one of these templates. Now, don't worry about this. We will be installing our own template later on in the tutorial. So on this screen, just go ahead and click skip. I don't need a template. And then we get asked if we want to automate text creation with AI. Once again, I don't really use this. I wouldn't recommend using this. So once again, we can go ahead and click skip. I will write content later. And right here, we now get to name the website. So we have three options. If you went with the yearly plan, we can claim a free domain, buy or use an existing domain. And for most people watching this, you will want to go ahead and claim the free domain. So once you have selected the claim a free domain, it will open up this box at the bottom where we can go ahead and enter in the domain name. Now, before you do that, before you go ahead and enter that domain name, the first thing that we need to do is just go to this little box at the side and set this to .com. .com is the type of domain that we want. It's just the most professional. So set this to .com and then you can go ahead and enter the domain that you like into this box. Once your domain has been selected, just go ahead and click continue, and we can go ahead and complete the domain registration. So the first thing is just choosing the country and then whether this is a personal or business domain. And then we can also go ahead and enter in some contact details just to set up this domain registration. And then once all of that information is entered, just go ahead and continue. Once you have done that, it will now go ahead and register the domain. And we just get a little bit of confirmation here. So just go through and make sure that the domain is correct. It is a .com domain, and then click on Finish Setup. And just like that, we have now fully set this up. We have Hostinger, we have WordPress, and we now have our domain. Now on this screen, you are going to get two different options. Firstly, we can go ahead and edit the website right now, or we can go into the Hostinger control panel. Now, before we go ahead and dive into the website and start making changes, we first of all want to manage site and go ahead and make some changes on the back end. So go ahead and click into manage site right here. And this is going to take you over to the Hostinger dashboard. So once you are on this Hostinger dashboard, the first thing that we need to do is go into the domain right here. You can see the domain is currently active, but click on manage underneath this, and this is going to take us through and say your domain is pending verification. So Hostinger are going to send you an email. As you can see, the email is going to look something like this. And then all you have to do is click on the link in that email, and you should get this message at the top that says your email address has been successfully verified. So once you have done that, we can now go back to Hostinger and hit refresh. And as you can see, this domain is now fully set up and we have confirmed this using our email. So once you have all of this done, just head back over to the dashboard right here. And then in this top section, you should see this button that has the WordPress icon and then says admin panel. So just go ahead and click into this. And this is going to redirect us over to WordPress right here. And you should be taken over to a screen that looks like this. Now, we want to be going back and forth between this WordPress dashboard quite often. So this is definitely something that we want to have bookmarked. So just go up to this top panel, or the search bar, I should say, right here. And then everything after, you should see yourdomain.com/WordPress admin. Everything after admin, just go ahead and delete this. So it should now say yourdomain/WordPress admin. Hit enter. And this is going to take you over to the main WordPress dashboard. Now this right here is what we want to go ahead and bookmark, just so that we can get back with one simple click. So to do this, just click on these three dots up here. And then we can go down to bookmarks and lists, and then bookmark this tab. And then I'm just going to call this dashboard, save this in my bookmarks bar, and click on done. Now, as you can see, if I now go ahead and open up a new tab, we have the dashboard right here that we can click into and get back to this WordPress dashboard at any time. Okay, so if you followed along, you should now have your WordPress hosting. We are now logged into WordPress. And we can easily get back to the WordPress dashboard by clicking on the bookmark that we created just there. Now from here, let's actually jump in and start creating this real estate website. The very first thing that we need to do is download two plugins. The first plugin is where we are actually going to get the template for the website so that it does most of the heavy lifting for us. And then we also need to install a real estate plugin that is going to allow us to create different houses, different listings, and make this entire process a lot easier. So to install these plugins, all we are going to do is go over to this section of WordPress on the left-hand side, hover over the plugin section right here, and then from this menu that opens up, click into add new plugin. This is going to take us over to the WordPress plugin menu. And this is where we can go ahead and install those plugins. Now, the first plugin that we need is called Starter Templates. So just go to this search plugins box in the top right corner. And in here, type in Starter Templates. Once that loads in, this is the one that we need right here, called Starter Templates by Brainstorm Force. So just go ahead and click on Install Now, and that will install this plugin. Once that plugin is installed, it will then say activate. However, we do not want to activate this plugin yet, as we still have the other plugin that we need to install. So once again, go to this top right corner, delete the starter templates, and just type in real estate. Once you have entered in real estate, this is the one that we need right here, a static real estate plugin. So just go ahead and install this plugin as well. Now, once this plugin has been installed, the static, we want to actually go ahead and activate this. So click on activate. And that will take you over to the static homepage. So So for now, we are finished with a static. We do not want to go into this right now, because the first thing that we are going to do is design and create the homepage of the website so that we can see exactly what we are working with. So to do this, once again, just go down to plugins right here. And this time we want to click into installed plugins. This is going to take us over to the plugins area where we can see all of the plugins that we have installed so far. At the bottom, you should see starter templates. And right next to it, it has this button that says activate. So now we want to go ahead and click on activate. And that is going to activate the starter templates plugin and take us right into starter templates. From these two options, we want to click into classic starter templates. So click into build with templates right here. And then under select page builder, we want to go with Elementor. Super important that we choose Elementor here, as these two page builders are not the best, and Elementor makes the whole website design so much easier. So we can click Elementor, and right here in this section, we can choose the exact template that we are going to use to build this real estate website. Now the template that we are going to choose actually has nothing to do with real estate, and instead it's actually a template for like a kid nursery. But we will edit the entire thing, and this is the one that we need to create the real estate website. So in this search bar at the top, just enter in daycare. And this is the one that we need right here. It's called daycare services. So just go ahead and select this template. And this is going to take us through to this section where it first of all asks us to choose a logo. Now we will create a logo at the end. However, we still need to design the website, choose the colors, and make this all congruent. So adding this logo is actually going to be one of the last things that we do. So in here, just click skip and continue. And then we can choose the colors that we will be using for this website. We have all of these different color palettes right here. So you can click through and choose the color palette that you want to use for your website. My personal recommendation is this blue color right here. The reason being is because in color psychology, we can see that blue often results in trust, peace, loyalty, and competence. So that is what I would recommend. I like to go for this blue color. And then down here, we can also flick between all of these different fonts that we can choose for on the site. Now I'm going to go with this one, Montserrat/Leto it's called. But choose the font, choose the color, and then we can click on continue. From here, it's just going to say one last step. I never fill this in, like you don't need to. So just go down and uncheck share non-sensitive data, and then we can click submit and build my website. This is then going to take about 30 seconds whilst it goes ahead and installs this theme and template onto your website. Once that has finished installing, we can then click into view your website. And as you can see, we now have this template that is on our website. And this is how the website looks right now. Now this is clearly a daycare. This is not yet a real estate website. So let's now go ahead and dive into the actual editing, change all of this up, and turn this from a daycare website into a real estate website. So all we are going to do is go up to this bar along the top and click into edit with Elementor. This is going to load up the Elementor editor, so we can exit out of this notification, and then we can start making changes to the website. Now, the first thing that we need to do is just go down to this bottom section right here and click on the navigator. Sometimes you will have the navigator here by default, so if you do, then don't worry about this. But if your website loads up like this without the navigator, then we need to go ahead and turn this on. Now, before we go ahead and start editing, I want to give you a super quick rundown on how the Elementor editor works. Super simple, and this will only take about 2 minutes. So if you look at this navigator on the right hand side, you can see it's made up of all of these different containers. So if we click into each container, we can see the container that is highlighted because it's everything between these two pink lines. So this top container is between these two pink lines. This second container is between these two pink lines. The third container between these two pink lines, and so on and so forth. Inside of each container is different elements that make this up. So we can see we have a text element right here. And if you hover over each of these elements, it will highlight the element in this pink box. We can then click into elements, and this sidebar is going to open up and show us the exact element that is highlighted, as well as all of the other elements that make up this section. So using this, we can delete certain elements. For example, if I want to delete this title, I can just click into the title, see that it's highlighted on this right-hand side, and then right-click and delete. And just like that, that element is going to be deleted. If you want to go back, for example, if you made a mistake, just click Command-Z on your keyboard if you are on Mac, or Control-Z if you are on computer, or alternatively, we can go down to this history button and then click all of these different options to take us back to the point we want to go to. We can also add new elements into any section of the page by simply dragging the element from this main control bar on the left-hand side. For example, if I want to drag in another heading, I can drag it in and see exactly where this is going to be placed by this pink bar. If I drop it in right here, we can see this is my heading, and then I can click in and start editing this element using this main control bar on the left-hand side. For example, I can make this say subscribe if this is valuable, something like that. If I want to change the font size and color, I can go over to style and then change the alignment, the text color, the size, and everything like that. Now, if this is still a little bit confusing to you, then don't worry, as I'm going to take you through every step of the process, click by click, and show you exactly how we can edit this to build the entire real estate website. So let's go ahead and jump into that right now. So the very first thing that we are going to do is, if you have any containers open, just click on this arrow next to them and make sure all of these containers are collapsed. Then we want to click into this text right here, this big text that says a safe and joyful place for your lovely children. And then on the left hand side, let's go to the title section, highlight this and delete the text. Then in here, you can come up with any headline that you like, that you want to add to your website. And I'm just going to say, find your perfect home, just like that. Once that is done, we can see this text above that says play, explore, learn. So click into this text, and then over on the right hand side, under the navigator, we can see this heading that contains this text is now highlighted. So just right click and delete this right here. Once that text is deleted, we can then go to this little subheading right here. Once again, click on this, and then on the left hand side, we want to delete, and then come up with a subheading for your website. So in here, I'm just going to say your dream home awaits, discover exceptional properties with GeForce North Real Estate, which is the name of my business in this example. Then in here, where we currently have a button and like a star rating, we want a search box so that people can go straight in, enter their location, and start searching for houses. So for this button, we want to click on the button, go over to the right hand side where this button is now highlighted, right click and delete. And then the same for these stars. So we can click star rating right here. And actually what we will do is, if we just click around on all of these different containers, you will eventually click on a container that will highlight this entire section in this gray box. So as I said, just click around on these containers until you have a gray box that highlights this section. And then we can right click and delete. And this is how your website should now look. So once your website looks like this, and you have followed along with all of these steps, we then want to go to this section on the left hand side. Make sure we are on the main Elementor editor. So just click on this square in the top right corner. And then we want to scroll down here all the way to the bottom until we get to the aesthetic section. Then from here, grab the aesthetic search and drag this underneath this text right here. Just like that. It's then going to load in this big advanced search with all of these different search options. However, this looks confusing and quite frankly just looks terrible for a homepage. So we want to go to this left-hand menu, and under the search type, right now this is advanced. So click on this drop-down menu, and we want to change this to main. Just like that, this is going to load in, and right here it says find your perfect home. It may say something else for you. However, because we already have a title section right here, in the title on this left-hand side, we just want to go ahead and where it says find your perfect home, delete this and leave this as it is. So that is all looking nice right now. People can come in here and search for like Florida. And then obviously when we have the rest of the website set up, they will be able to search for all of the properties that are in Florida. Next, we want to click on this phone number right here. And in here, you just want to delete where it says the title on this left-hand side. It will have a number in here. So just delete this and then enter in the phone number that you want to have on your website. So if I just have it like that, cool. So this section is now complete and this looks absolutely awesome. We now need to go in and edit these two images right here to make these more fitting with our real estate website. So first of all, we want to get this image behind. And if we just click into this image section right here, you will notice that on the left-hand side, this now opens into the image section where we can go ahead and choose a new image. Now, if I was just to go in here and click on choose image and upload a file from my computer, then what's going to happen, and I can show you with this example, if I add this in, it's going to be a completely different size to what we need. So let me just go back. And when we are uploading an image in here, we need to make sure that it is the exact dimensions of 400 by 480 pixels. And the way that we do this is by using this website right here called Canva. We are going to be using Canva a lot in this tutorial. And to make things easier and make sure that we have access to all of the features, you want to make sure that you have Canva Pro. Now, Canva Pro, I think, is around about $15 per month. However, if you use the Canva link in the description of this video, you will be able to sign up for the Canva Pro trial and get 30 days for completely free. This way, you will have access to all of the features inside of Canva that we need. And then once you have completed your website, you can cancel your trial and you will never get charged. So once you have clicked on that link, signed up for your Canva account, and you now have Canva Pro, you should be taken to this Canva home screen right here. So what we are going to do is go up to create a design in this top right corner. And then from this menu that opens up, click into custom size. It's then going to ask for the width and the height of the image that we are going to create. So if we go back to the previous tab, we can see this is 400 by 480. So let's go back to Canva. And then for the width, we will go 400 by 480. Make sure this is set to pixels and then click create new design. This is going to take us over to Canva right here. And you can see we now have a blank canvas. That is the exact dimensions that we need for our website. So now just go to uploads and upload the image that you want to have in this top section right here. If you need extra images or if you don't have any images for your website yet, I recommend using this website called Pexels. All of the images on here are completely royalty free and you can use these for commercial purposes. So in here, I can just go and type in like, let's go for a house. And then I want to use this image right here. So I can just click download. That image is now going to download. So I can go back to Canva, upload files, and then drop this image in. From here, I can select this image. And then all I'm going to do is drag this out the entire width. So this one is not the best because it cuts off half of the house. So let's go back and actually find a different one. And there we go. So this one is awesome. I'm going to download this, then go back to Canva, upload this image, and then I can go ahead and drag this in. And then maybe we want this to actually go a little bit further, just like that. Once you have your image and you have resized it to fit the exact dimensions that we need, Then we can click on share in this top right corner, go down to download, and then download this image. Once the image is downloaded, we can then go back over to our website, click into this image once again, and then on the left-hand side where it says choose image, we can choose the image, go to upload files up here at the top, select files, and then drop the design that we just created. We can select this and then drop it into the website. So this is the first image right here. We then also want to add a second image, and I prefer to have this back image of an actual house, like the exterior. And then this image right here looks absolutely awesome as like the interior of a house. So once again, I'm going to click into this image, go to the left-hand side and click on choose image. And then this image needs to be 300 by 400 pixels. So once again, we can go back to Canva. And then for the width, we will go 300, the height 400, create a new design. And then let's go ahead and find a nice house interior that we can use here. So I like the look of this. I'm going to download this, then go back to Canva, upload the file, and drop this in. And then we can resize this to make sure this fits the exact dimensions. Just like that. Once that is done, we once again want to go to share, download right here, and then download this image. Once this is downloaded, we can then go back to our website, upload files, and drop this in, select. And just like that, we now have two images that look a lot better on the website. However, this background still looks kind of childish and doesn't look the best for a real estate website. So all we are going to do to change this background is go to the navigator on the right hand side and just go to this top container, click on this arrow on the left hand side and make sure that all of the containers are now collapsed. Once they are, we can click into this top container right here and then over on the main control panel, this left hand side, select this over to style. And right here, we can see the current background image, which is kind of like this wavy kind of blue color. So in here, we just want to choose an image, and then we can essentially grab any image here, and we don't need to resize this in Canva. Once this loads in, we can then click select. And as you can see, this is now going to be set as the background for the website. You will notice though, as soon as we drop this in, this text becomes a lot less readable. So before we go ahead and add an overlay to this background, let's first of all make sure this text is white and readable. So just click into this top text right here where it says find your perfect home or whatever you entered here. Once that is selected, go over to style on this left hand side, then down to text color, click into the color, and then let's change this to white. The same for the text underneath, click into this, go to style on this left hand side, and then under the text color, we want to change this to white. We can also do the same with this phone number. So click into this, go over to style on the left hand side, and then down to content right here. And then under the title, we can see the color. So just go ahead and change this to white as well. Once all of the text in this homepage have been turned to white, we then want to go and just close these down again. Then click into this top container. This is going to load up the container on the left hand side. So right here where it says background, close this down. And then we want to go into background overlay. So we can open this up. And then right here it says background type. We want to set this to classic using this paintbrush icon. Then for the color, we want to have this exact blue that is used on the rest of the website. The best way to do this is to install this extension called Eyedropper. I will leave the extension down in the description, and all you have to do is click on that link and download this Eyedropper extension. Once you have the extension installed, click into this puzzle icon, which is the extension section, and then make sure that this is pinned. And once this is pinned, it will then show up in the main toolbar. So we can click on the eyedropper, then click pick color from web page. And then all we need to do is click on some of this blue text to get the exact blue color. Once you have the blue color, we can then click back into eyedropper. And then this code at the top right here, it should say some random letters and numbers. Just go ahead and copy this entire thing. And then all we need to do is go back to background overlay. And then for the color, click into this and paste in the code that we just copied. Then we want to go down to the opacity and change this from 5 to 0.75. And just like that, we now have this top section completed. What we can maybe do is, let's go back to this icon once again. And then under the icon, let's select icon. Primary color, we can change to white. And then secondary color, let's go for that blue again. And that looks a lot better right there. So with all of that said, this top section is now done. So from here, we can click on update in this bottom left corner, just to make sure that all of the changes that we have made so far are saved on the website. Once we have done all of this and this top section is now edited, we just want to scroll down to this About Us section. And once you scroll to this About Us section, you should see this pink tab appears above. So click on this plus icon and that is going to add in a new section. From here, click on this plus icon and then it's going to ask us to select a structure and give us all of these different options that we can choose from. The option that we want to go for is this one right here with the two different sections split down the middle. Click on this and this is going to add in this new section where we have a different column on each side. So go over to the control panel on the left hand side and click on this box at the top. And this will take you back over to the main Elementor editor. From here, we want to grab an image on this left hand side and drag it into the right hand side of this section. Just like that, we will now have an image dropped in here. So we now want to go back to the left hand side, the main control panel, and click on this box in the top right corner. We can then grab a heading. So grab the heading and drag it into this left hand side. Then click on this box once again. Grab the text editor. Drag this in to the left hand side. Click on this box. And then we also want to add in a button underneath the text right here. Once all of that is added in, we now want to create the exact same thing that we just created here, but do it on alternative sides. So the image is here and then the text is here. So once again, we can go down to the About Us section, click on this plus icon, then in the drag widget section, click on this plus icon and select this structure right here. Then we can go over, drag in an image to the left hand side this time, go back, grab a heading, go back, grab text, and then go back and add in a button. Then we want to create one more of these sections, but back on this side. So all of these are alternating. So let's go back down to About Us, add in a new section, click on this plus icon, this structure right here, and then we grab an image, drag it over here, go back, heading, go back, text editor, go back, and finally we want to add in a button. Just like that, we should now have 3 sections that look like this, where we can add in images and create text for each of these sections. So let's go to this top section and we can now start making changes. So we can click into the heading right here and let's change this to "will help you find the perfect space." So that is the top section. Then we can go down to the second section. Once again, on the left hand side, delete this. And then I'm going to say, we work with your budget, just like that. And we can go back and make this capitalized. And then for the final section, let's click into the heading, delete this. And then in here, I'm going to say, read our client success stories. Just like that. Then underneath each of these different sections, we can now go through and add in like a few sentence summary about all of these different sections that we just created. So in this, we'll find you the perfect space. I'm going to click in, delete this on the left-hand side, and then create a quick 1 to 3 sentence summary about the heading that we created. Then I'm actually going to go here and delete this full stop. Do the same for this second section. We work with your budget. Delete this on the left-hand side. And then once again, create like a 2 to 3 sentence summary about whatever section you put here. Under the client success stories, I'm going to do the same. Click on this text, delete, and then type something out right here. Once all of these have been added, let's now go ahead and create images for each of these sections. Now, we want to make sure that all of these images are the same size. So once again, we can go over to Canva, create a custom size, and then in here, we want to set them all to 800 by 800, and then click Create New Design. And in here, we can now go ahead and find different images, whether you are getting these from Pexels or whether you are creating them yourself. We can go ahead and grab some new images. Then once again, we can drag these into Canva, drop them in, and then resize these to make sure that these are all the same size. So I will go for this one first, share, and then download this. And then once we have all of these images resized, let's now go back over and we can add these images in. So in Choose Image, I'm going to click on Choose Image and upload all of the files that I just created. So this top section will help you find the perfect space. I'm going to add this image. Yeah, cool. Then we work with your budget. We can add this in just like that. And then read our client success stories. We click here, add this in just like that. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is make sure that this text is in the center of the image. And the way that we do this is by clicking on this square to go back to the main Elementor editor and then grab the spacer from the left-hand side. We want to add in a spacer to all of these. So grab spacer and then add it above the text of the top section. Then we can go down, add in a spacer right here above this text, and then go down and add in a spacer above this text. Then we can go back to each spacer, and on the left-hand side, we can move this up and down to make sure that this is in the middle. So about there, that looks pretty good. Then this spacer, turn this up, make sure this is in the middle, maybe turn this down a little bit. Just like that. And then the client success stories, once again, we can make sure this is in the middle. Just like that. Maybe this one wants to go up a little bit. Let's try like 130. Perfect. So that all now looks awesome. I mean, we do also have to change the button text. So let's click into this button, and I'm going to change this instead of click here to say read more. Then this section right here, we can say see listings. And then this top section, the button, I will make say see listings as well. So this looks awesome. The only thing is this text is still black. It's not congruent with the rest of the website. So let's highlight this top text, then go to style, text color. We will make this same blue. So paste that in right there. Do the same for this, style, text color, make sure this is blue, style, text color blue. And then we also want to make the buttons the same. So we can click into each button. And right now, when we hover over it, it actually goes blue. So let's see what we can change it to instead. So we want to click into each of the buttons, then go to style. And right here, we have a background type. Under the color, let's change this to blue. See listings, style, background type, and then the color to blue. Style, background type, color, blue. So right now, this doesn't change if people hover over them. However, maybe we want this to change to a slightly either darker or lighter color. Let's test this out. So once again, we want to click into the button. And then on the left-hand side, under style, we want to change this over to hover. Then we can go to the background color right here, paste in the same blue. And now let's move this around. So let's try this a little bit darker. We can see now that's going to be darker. Or lighter maybe. Nah, I don't like that as much. That looks pretty cool. Awesome. So I really like that. So all we are going to do now is once again, once you have found the color that you're happy with this changing to, we can go down here, copy this code, and then we can click into the other buttons, go to hover, color, and then paste this in. Do the same for this bottom one, hover, color, and paste this in right there. So right now, if we test this out and we hover over all of the buttons, they are going to change to this darker color. And we now have this second section completed. So from here, we can go down to this next section. This is an About Us section, and we don't want to display this on the home screen. There's no reason to do this. And later on, we will create an entire page as an About Us section. So all we need to do is hover over the About Us section and click on this X in this tab at the top. This section as well, we want to go ahead and delete. So once again, click on this X button and we can go ahead and delete this. This section we also want to delete. So let's delete this. Then we can delete this photo section, delete this section right here. This section we are going to keep. And then we can go down to this section, delete this, and leave this section as well. So before we go ahead and edit this section right here, there is one more section that we want to add in between these two sections. So this where it says read our client success stories and meet the teachers. There is one more section we want to add in here. So just click on this plus right here to add in this new section. Then we want to go over to this left-hand side, click on the square in the top right corner, and once again, scroll all the way down to get to the aesthetic section right here. Under aesthetic, we want to grab aesthetic listings right here and just drag this in. And this is going to be our featured listings area. Now, right now, because we have not created any listings for the website yet, nothing is going to show up here. So for now, we will just leave this as this is. And then we can go down. And in here, we are going to say meet our agents. So it's completely up to you. If you are a solo realtor, this website is just for you and you're not an agency, you don't have different agents, then you can just delete this section right here and then use the timestamps in the video description to skip to the next section of the video. However, if you do want this section for meet our agents, we want to edit this. Then go to this blue text right here and say experts in, let's say, finding you a home that you love. Just like that. Then we can go down and we want to edit all of these pictures right here to actually add your real estate agents and the agents that you have on your team. Once again though, if we just click in here and we just start adding random images in any dimension, then once again, we are going to run into the issue of the images, well, being the wrong dimension. So just select one of these images, then go over to the right-hand side and click on choose image. And then right here, we can see this is 288 by 412. Let's just check the next one. 288 by 412. Okay, perfect. So we will once again go over to Canva. And I can't even remember what this was. 288 412. Okay, so Canva 288 by 412, just like that. Then create a new design. And then in here, you just want to go ahead and grab the images of your realtors to add to this section. So once you have your images, we can once again upload these right here. And then of course, we are going to go in and resize them to make sure they fit this area. So we can resize this first one. I just want this guy's head in there like this. Perfect. Then we can go share and download this. Once we have all of those images, we can then go back over to the website, click into here, and then upload all of the images that we just created. So we can add this, and we can add this, then we can add this, just like that. And now we have all of these images in right here. We can then click on each image, change the name and the description. So we can go to the title, and let's say this is Mark Kelly. Then for the description, we can say, maybe this is head realtor with 6 years experience. And then for this woman, we'll leave the name as Harriet Bailey, why not? And then say 8 years experience. And then for this guy, we will change this to Kevin Mason. And then say 5 years experience. Just like that. Now we have all of this section done right here. Then we can scroll down and edit the final section on the homepage. So we can click into the text right here. And then on the left-hand side, I'm going to say a real estate agent that you can trust. And then in here, I'm going to say we will do whatever it takes to find you a place you love. Like that. Once again, we have like this blue and white button. So let's click into here. First of all, we can change the text to say the listings. And then once again, we will grab this blue color from here. Make this the main color, just like that. And then for the hover, let's go back up and grab the hover color from one of these buttons right here. And we can go down. And then we want to make the hover color white as well for the text. Perfect. So just like that, we now have this entire homepage done. So we can now click on update, make sure all of those changes are saved, and then click on this eye icon to get to the main website right here. Now, what I'm noticing is we have this random blue section on this left-hand side. So let's get rid of this and make sure that this background takes up this entire section. So let's go back into the editor, close all of these down. This looks super confusing. Okay. Then we can click on the top container. Let's go to style. And then the position. We want this to be center, just like that. And then for the display size right here, we want to change this to cover. Once you have done that, click on update. And now if we preview changes once again, that blue section at the side is now gone. And this homepage right now looks absolutely awesome. There is actually one final thing that we need to add to this homepage, and it is super important. So all we are going to do is go right back up to this top section right here. From this left-hand side, go ahead and grab a button and then drag it just above the search box right here. We then want to go back using this square, then grab another button and drag this in right here. Then we can click the first button, and in here, we are going to change the text to say, I'm looking to buy. And then the second button right here, we will change to say, I'm looking to rent. We will leave both of these as black right here, and then the blue is absolutely perfect. And we will not link these up just yet, because we first of all have to go ahead and create the different house listings for our website, so that we can make these buttons clickable and also have our listings show up down here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Even if you do not have any listings that you actually want to add to your website, let's go ahead and create a few demo listings just so that we can see exactly how this looks on the website. So to do this, let's actually close out of all of the tabs that we currently have, open up a new tab, and then go back to the dashboard that we bookmarked earlier. We can then close this down as well. Once you are on the WordPress dashboard, we want to go over to aesthetic on this left-hand side. And if we go into the My Listings section, this is going to show us all of the listings that we currently have on the website. Because we do not yet have any, Let's click on add new property, and we can add the first property that we are going to include on the website. So in the title, we want to go ahead and enter in the address of the house. So in here, I'm going to grab the Statue of Liberty address just as an example here so that I don't accidentally use a random person's address. But what you would do is enter in the address of the house up here. In this section, this is where you can go ahead and enter in a description of the house. So you would enter in the house or apartment description right here. So for this, I'm just going to use a 3-bedroom apartment in the middle of New York, and imagine this is the address right here. So I wrote out a description of the apartment. Then we can scroll down, add in an excerpt. So an excerpt is like a much smaller version of the description that is going to show up on the listings page. So I'm going to create my excerpt right here. We can see this is much shorter than the description. Then we can go down, and right here at the bottom, this is where we can enter in the property information. So the price per square foot, bathrooms, bedrooms, all of the information about the house or apartment is going to be entered in down here. So as this is an apartment, I'm going to put this up for rent. So I will say this is $3,000. And then in the price note, just because this is rent, in here we will go for per month. So you only want to put per month in the price note for apartments. If this was a house, for example, I would put maybe 500,000, and then the price note I would leave blank because the price of the house is simply 500,000. But in here, I'm going to go 3,000 per month. Price per square foot, you can also add this in. I'm just going to leave this blank as this is just an example. Then we can go for 3 bedrooms. Let's say 2 bathrooms. Half baths, we will go for 0. Total rooms, we will say this has 7 total rooms. Floors, we'll go for 1. Floor level, so let's say this is on the 35th floor. Area in square foot, so in here I will say 1,500 square foot. The lot size, I'm going to leave blank. Let's say this was built in 2003. And year remodeled, let's leave as unknown. For the labels, if you want to add this in the featured section, so I will show you this later, but if we want this to be featured, we can check this, which I'm going to check. We can also add this as an open house. And then if this is an open house, we can turn this on and add in the open house date. So I'm going to leave this off for now. We will turn this on when we actually create a house. All of that is added in. For the address, we need to leave this blank because we have not yet set up Google Maps API. So for now, let's leave this blank. Photos and media. This is where we want to go ahead and we can upload photos of the apartment, any documents, floor plans. If there's a video on YouTube or Vimeo, we can add this in right here. And then also some embed code. Usually we want to leave this blank. This is a little bit advanced. And then if we want to upload a video straight to the website, we can do this right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab some images to upload. Now, once again, super important here, if I just grab these images from Pexels, or if you just upload them as they are, and we upload them into here, once again, they will not be the correct size for the website. So we want to go over to Canva, click into Create Design, Custom Size. Then we want these to be landscape. So let's go for 1000 width by 700 height, then create new design. And just like that, these are going to be landscape. So I can now upload the images that I just grabbed and then resize these in Canva by dragging these to the width that they need to be. Once we have all of the images and they are all in the correct size format, they are all the same size. Let's go back over and upload these. So upload files. And then once they are all uploaded, let's click into select. And all of these are going to be added in. Now we can also rearrange these images. The first photo is going to be the cover image. And for the caption, I'm going to say this is the living area. And this, let's just say dining area. It's clearly not, but just as an example, dining area. This would be a better dining area actually. So we've got dining area. We say this is the halls. And then bedroom. So those images are now uploaded. Once again, we can add all of these other areas in. And then we can go to building details and choose all of these different areas. So we can say this is finished. Exterior material, we'll select brick. And if you want to add in any extra things, for example, we have exterior material right here. Right now, we can only select brick. However, if we save this, so make sure this is saved, we can go to aesthetic right here, then go down to the field builder. And in here, this is where we can add all of these different areas. So once we are in here, if we go to the buildings detail section, we can see exterior material. And right here, this is just brick. So maybe we can add like wood as an example. That's now added in. Go down and save the changes. And now if I go back to my listings, hover over this, and then from this drop down menu, click into edit to get back to where we were. We can now go down and in building details, you can see wood is now going to show up. Then we can select the roof here, the parking. So we'll say, let's say this has got a carport, then update. And this building has now been added in. And then the final thing that we need to do for each listing is once again go to aesthetic, click into my listings, and then you can see the listing that we just created is right here. So hover over this and then go to this section on the right hand side and click into quick edit. In this section, we can add some more information. So we can add the category, if this is for rent or for sale. So we can go for rent. The type, let's add this as apartments. Status is going to be active. And then we can also turn on call for price, but we've listed the price, so that's cool. Once again, with any of these areas, for example, the type, if you want to add something else in right here that you don't see, then once again, all we have to do is go to the fields builder, find the field that we need. So this example was type, and then we can go down, add in a new option and add that new option in. So for now, I have my first listing right here. This is 3,000 per month for rent, and we have all of this right here. So I'm now going to go and add about 4 more listings to my website. So just like that, I now have all of my listings created right here. I just went ahead and created 5 listings. And the next thing that we need to do is if I go into edit, we don't yet have a location and this will not show up on the map. So next we need to go ahead and link up Google API so that we have access to the map and we can show where these are located on a map on our website. So to go ahead and do this, just go over to aesthetic on this left hand side and from here click into settings. This is going to load up the settings area right here. So go to this panel on the left hand side and click into map. It's the second option down. In this area right here, it's going to ask us to give a Google API key. So the next thing that we are going to do is actually go ahead and set this up. So open up a new tab and in here, search for Google API key. Just like this, we now have Google API key. And the one that we want is this top option right here, use API keys, maps JavaScript API. Go ahead and click into this. And this is going to take us over to this page right here. So all we are going to do is scroll down until you see this option that says go to the credentials page. We have a big blue button right here. So we can go ahead and click into this. Just agree with all of these terms of services. And now we want to go ahead. It says select a project. So just go up to the top right corner and click create project up here. We then want to create a name. So in here, I'm just going to call this real estate, just like that. And then we can click on create. From here, it's then going to go ahead and load in. And it's going to take us over to this screen. So just click on finish account setup here in the middle. And it's now going to take us through to this screen. So from here, just choose your country and then click agree and continue. And then in here, we want to enter in some information as well as a payment method. Now, don't worry, after this trial period, once it effectively goes through those $300, it's not going to charge you straight away, and you will have to go through and manually add the money to your account. So don't worry, it's not going to automatically charge you or anything like that. From here, we can then click on Start Free. From here, it should then pop up with an API key. So just go ahead and click on Copy. And once your API key is copied, we can then go back over to WordPress, and then in Google API key, just go ahead and paste it in right there. Once that is added in, we now need to add a default latitude and longitude. And the easiest way to do this is to open up a new tab and go over to Google Maps. So go over to Google Maps, and then if we are in the US, for example, we want this like somewhere in the middle. If you are creating a website for maybe the UK, once again, we would go to the middle of whichever country you are creating this website for. In my example, this is going to be America. So I will go to the middle of the US, maybe somewhere like Kansas or Missouri, right click, and then we will get given some coordinates at the top. So just go ahead and click this, and it will copy to clipboard. Then we can go back over to the website and paste in exactly what we just copied into this latitude and longitude center. Then under default zoom level, we want to turn this out to about 5. And then the rest of this information we can leave as it is. Then click on Save Changes, and that has now set everything up. So we now have Google API connected. So let's close down all of these tabs. And now if we go back over to the listings, we can now go ahead and add in all the addresses. So let's go over here and click into Edit. And then I'm going to copy the address from the title, go down into location right here, and then paste this in. Let's then select this section right here. It should show up in Maps. And when it shows up in Maps, you know that you have set everything up correctly. From here, we can then go up and click Update. And now I'm going to go back through and do this with every single one of these listings. So Edit, copy the address. Then we can go down into Location, set the location right here, and then it shows up on Maps. So we can click Update. So just like that, we should now have all of our listings with all of the addresses now added, and Google API is now connected, and we should be able to see all of these when we add in the map. So from here, let's go ahead and test this out and see if this is actually working on the website. So go to this top left corner and click into your website right here. Then we can go down all the way to the bottom here. And right now, this is going to show all of the featured listings because this is what we set this to. If, for example, I can just go back here into my listings, and let's take this one away. So right now, this is in featured, but I can click in. And if I now uncheck this from featured, update, and go back, you can see that that house is no longer going to show up as featured. Now you can effectively set this menu to be whatever you like. So the way it's set up right now is this is going to show all of the listings that we currently have on the website. So let's click Edit with Elementor and go in and edit this. So we can now go down to this section. First of all, we want to click in. And with this, let's go to Navbar and disable Navbar. Then we want to also add in a heading. So let's go back, drag in a heading. And then in here, we will just say featured listings. Then style, make this, of course, this same blue color. Just like that. Align it in the middle. Beautiful. And then as I said, we can click into this right here. And right now it says edit a static listings. If we go down to query filter this is where we can add in effectively what it shows. So if I only want this to show apartments, for example, I can go into types, add in only apartments, and this is only going to show me the apartment because I have apartment selected under type. Let's exit out of this, and now let's put in only houses for sale. And this is only going to show up the properties that are for sale on the website. But in here, instead, I just want to go close this down. I'm going to show featured listings here. So I will go for featured. And right here, this is only going to show up the featured listings that we can turn on and off when we are creating the different listings. Now, what I'm also going to do here to take this to the next level is actually, let's go in here, change this text color to white, then highlight the container. And then what I'm going to do is go over to style and add a nice background like this into this section right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add in this new image, just like that. And then let's add an overlay on here, the same blue color. Turn this up, 0.75. Beautiful. Now, I also think it would be pretty cool if kind of like this background moved as well. So let's go into background. Then for the position, we will go for center. Attachment is going to be scroll. And then display size, we will set to cover. Let's then click update and see how this looks on the website. And just like that, this looks absolutely beautiful. So I'm super happy with how this looks right now, and effectively the entire homepage is finished. All that we have to do from here is just make these buttons clickable when we add in the respective pages to make these buttons clickable. So next, let's go ahead and make a regular listings page so that people can see all of the listings that we have on the website. To do this, we want to back out to the main WordPress editor, then go to pages down this left-hand side and click on add new page. Then let's go ahead and call this listings. Once you have titled the page, we then want to click on publish and publish again in this top right corner. And once that is done, we can now edit with Elementor. The first thing that we are going to do here is grab a heading from this left-hand side, drag this in, and then on the left-hand menu, let's change this to say browse listings. Once that is done, we can then back out to the main Elementor editor, scroll down on this left-hand side, right to the bottom, and then in here, we want to grab the static half map. Then we can drag this in, and just like that, this is going to show us all of the current listings that we have. And you will also notice on the map, I have checkpoints for where all of these different houses are. So if I click on the Houston one, this is going to show up with the Houston house that we have right here. If I click on the California, it's going to show up with the Californian home. Now there is a few settings that we need to go ahead and tweak here. So just go over to this menu on the left-hand side, open up the navbar, and then for the page title right here, we want to go ahead and turn this off. Then go down to search navbar and open this up. Enable search bar, we want to turn on. And right here, this is where we can customize everything that is going to show up. So right now we have the price, type, bedrooms, bathrooms, and then more filters. So everything that you see right here, this is the visible fields. And then the collapse fields is going to show up when we click into this section right here. So if, for example, you don't want to show bedrooms, we want it to show up there, we can get rid of bedrooms from right here and then add this into the collapse field. So we can add like bedrooms right here. Bedrooms is going to go, and it's now going to show up in collapsed field. Now, I actually don't like this. This was just an example, so we will add bedrooms back here. But you can mix and match and add these into these different areas. You can also potentially delete this title if you don't really like it. So you could just like go to the heading and click delete. But I think this looks better, so I like to leave it. Now, I actually like to take this a step further and add a little bit extra into this top section. So we want to just grab the container here, click on this top container, then go over to style on this left hand side. Under the background type, select this to classic. And then we want to add in another image right here. So grab this, add this in. Then once this fully loads in, we can click on select. And right now we can only kind of see the sky here. So what we want to do is go to the position. Once again, set this to center. And then we can go to display size, cover, background overlay. We will open this up, classic, grab this same blue, and then add this into the color right here. Once again, opacity 0.75. Then we want to click on the text where it says browse listings, go to style and change the text color to white. And now we need to make this section a little bit more visible. So click on this square to go back to the Elementor menu. Then we want to grab a spacer, add a spacer above, go back and add a spacer below, just like that. Then we can tweak the size of these spacers. So let's test 100 by 100. Oh, that's way too big. 100, just like that. And I think that looks pretty cool. I mean, what we can also do is add in maybe like a text editor here and say, browse all of our listings right at your fingertips, just like that. Then style, make this white. Perfect. So we will update this right here. Then let's click on the eye icon. And right now we can see this is how the listings page is going to look. Once again, if you don't like this top section, like this is fully customizable. So you can just right click this top section and hit delete. I don't want to go through. I actually want to get this back. But yeah, you can basically do that right there. Then people will be able to come to the filters. Let's test this out to make sure this works. Let's set the type to apartments. And as you can see, that is going to change and only show the apartments. On the map, this is going to do the same thing. So we can see there's currently 2 apartments in New York. One of them is right here. That's this apartment. And then if we zoom out, the other one is right here. And that is that apartment. So that is perfect right there. Let's now go back to the main page. So let's scroll to the top, click on this icon. And this is going to take us over to the main section of the website. Now, right here, we are going to create a buy and rent page so that people can come along, click on buy. They can be taken over only to properties that are for sale. And then if they are looking to rent, this is going to take them over to a page where it only shows properties to rent. So let's close down all of these tabs to not be too confusing. Open up a new tab right here. And let's go back to the WordPress dashboard. So from here, we once again want to go to pages and click on add new page. And in here, we are going to say properties for rent, just like that. And then we can hit publish. Once again, go edit with Elementor. And in here, we actually want to model this off the same page as we created last time. So let's open a new tab. Go back to the dashboard, go into pages on this left hand side and all pages. And then right here, we have listings. So let's click on view. And once again, when this loads up, let's click into edit with Elementor at the top. So we can see effectively what we created here. So let's now go back over to the properties to rent page. In here, we want to add a heading. And in here, we will say properties to rent, just like that. And then in here, we will go for text editor, add this underneath. And in here, I will say looking to rent, find hundreds. If you have thousands of listings, you could change this right here. I'm going to say find hundreds of listings. And once again, we'll stay with the theme right at your fingertips. So let's go back, take a look at this. So these are going to be white. So let's change the text color to white. Text color of this style, change this to white. Then we want to go to the container background and we need to find a new image in here. So I think it would be much more appropriate to have like an apartment block as this is to rent. We want to go into this top container right here on the right hand side. Style, background type, we will go classic. Then we can upload the image right here, just like that. And then once again, we will make this position, center, display size, cover. And then go down to the background overlay. Make this the same blue color. And then of course, opacity is 0.75. Then we can go back to the main Elementor editor. So click on this button, drag in a spacer above, go back, spacer below. And what did we have these spacers set to? Okay, 100. So once again, we will set these to the same, 100, 100. So right now we have this properties to rent area. And then all we have to do is go to the main Elementor editor, scroll right down to the static half map, and let's drag this in. Now from here, because we only want to show properties to rent, we want to click into this area and then under query filter, and in here, go to categories and set this for rent. This is only going to show up with rental properties right here. So that is now all set up. We have these properties to rent. And then once again, people can see all of these properties on the map. We can click on this and it's going to show this section to rent. We also have these search filters at the top. However, we want to go ahead and turn off the title once again. So let's go to the navbar, show page title. We can turn this off. And now this looks awesome. So once again, let's hit update and preview changes. So that looks awesome. And we now have this rental page done. So we have properties to rent. Let's go back to the home page. And now we need to link this button. So when people click I'm looking to rent, right now this doesn't take them anywhere. So what we actually need to do here is go back to the WordPress dashboard. Then go to pages right here, go to all pages, and then go down to properties to rent. Go ahead and click on view, and this is going to take us to the page that we just created. So from here, go to this top search bar and copy this link. Then click on the icon right here to be taken back to the home page. Then we want to go edit with Elementor. And in here, where it says I'm looking to rent, we click on that button, and then over here on this left-hand side control panel, in the link, paste that in. Now we can click on update, click on the eye icon to preview changes, and now if we click I'm looking to rent, this is going to take people over to the rental page. So we now have all of that set up. The final page that we need to create here is going to be a buy page. So when people click I'm looking to buy, we essentially do the exact same thing that we just did when looking to rent. So let's now go back to the WordPress dashboard, then into pages on this left-hand side, add new page. And in here, what was this title? Properties to rent. So we will type in properties for sale. Once again, publish in the top right corner, publish again, edit with Elementor up at this top section. And then we can go ahead and create this exact same page. So we bring a heading in here. We'll title this properties to rent, just like, properties for sale this time. Then go back, add in this text editor. And then what do you say? Looking to rent, find hundreds of listings right at your fingertips. In here, we can paste in the same thing. Let's say looking to buy, find hundreds of listings right at your fingertips. Once again, you can change this section around. Like, I don't think this is the best, but it's just a quick example. And then we want to add, let's first of all add the background. So we go to this top container on the right hand side, then over to style, background type, classic, add the image in right here. Once that has loaded in, we can add this in. Let's actually go and change this text to white. So click on that one, white, make this white, and go back. Then grab a spacer, add this above, back, spacer below. Click on this top spacer and let's set this to 100. This bottom spacer we will set to 100 as well. And then we can click back into this top container. Go to the position, center, display size, cover, then background overlay, the same blue as last time, just like this, and then opacity 0.75. Is that looking good? Perfect. Awesome. Then in here, we once again want to click on the Elementor editor, go down all the way to the bottom, grab a static half map, and then in here, we want to go to query filter at the bottom. Then under categories, for sale, go to the search navbar and enable this. And then we also want to go to the navbar and turn off show page title. This is then going to show all of the listings that we have specifically for sale. Once again, this map works just like that. So let's click on update, preview changes right here. And then once again, because this is a preview page, let's go back to WordPress. Then hover over pages, all pages, and then properties for sale down here. We can click on view. Then we just grab this URL from the top, click on the icon to get back. And then from here, we want to add this section to I'm looking to buy. So let's go edit with Elementor. Click on this section right here. And then in the link, paste in exactly what we just copied. And let's test this out. So I'm looking to buy, takes us over to that page. I'm looking to rent, now takes us over to that page. So we have all of that set up right here. The final thing that we actually need to add on this homepage is when people click on the see listings, it takes them to the listings page. So let's back out, click into WordPress right here, go to pages, then all pages, then go to the regular listings page right here and view. Then we copy this URL from the top, go back to the home page, edit with Elementor, and then we can scroll down all the way to the bottom here under see listings and paste in this link, update. Now let's preview changes and just make sure this works. So there we go, we have see listings. And if we actually go back, we need to add see listings to these two buttons right here. So we already have this copied. So we can just go back into edit with Elementor. And now if we go down this see listings, paste that in, see listings, paste that in. And the only thing that we will leave is read more. We have not yet created this page. So when we create this page, we will come back and link up this read more button. So right now, let's preview the changes. And we now have created the home page of the website, the listings page, and then the buy and the rent page. So the next page that we will create is this section for read our client success stories. Now, if you are creating your website and you actually created a different section right here, and you don't want to add a page for reading about client success stories, then you can use the timestamps in the description to skip to the next section. But let's go ahead and create this page. Super simple to do. Let's close down all of these tabs. Go back over to WordPress right here. Go to pages, and then once again, add new page. For the title of this, we are going to call this Client Success Stories, just like that. And then once again, we will publish. Once that is published, we once again want to go to edit with Elementor. And this is going to take us into the Elementor editor. So in here, the drag widget section, we can click on this plus icon. And once again, just like on the home screen, I will actually show you which section we are creating this like. It's going to be like this. So once again, we want to select this structure with these two sections on either side. And then in here, we will go back to the main Elementor editor, grab an image and drag this to the right side. Then let's go back, grab a heading and drag a heading to the left side. Then back. Then we will grab a text editor. And although this one has a button, we don't need a button here. We are just going to add all of these individual testimonials. So in the heading section, let's click into this. And this is where we want to type in the name of the person we are getting a testimonial from. So in here, I will just call this person Marcus Edmund. And then in this section, this is where we want to go and type out the testimonial that we got from this client. Once you have typed that in and you have the testimonial right here, let me actually go in and add like speech marks on either side. Makes it look a lot better. Then what we are going to do is go back to the main Elementor editor and in search widget, search for rating. Then we want to grab a rating and just drag this in right here. Alignment, we want to go here. Let's align this in the center. Actually, no, let's leave it over here. Then we will have a 5-star rating. So let's put this as 5. Go over to the style. And this is where we can increase the size. So maybe we can put this right here. And then over on this right-hand side, this is where we want to go ahead and add in a picture of the person that gave us this testimonial. So we can just drag this into here, upload files, grab this image and drop this in. And just like that, we now have this in here. For the resolution, maybe we want to go for like a medium. That's too small, medium large. That's a little bit better. But once again, we will go to this left-hand side and add in a spacer right here at the top so that we can make this more centralized. Once we have this in, we of course want to make this kind of congruent with the rest of the website. So this top text, let's make this blue, just like that. Awesome. Now for this next section, let's once again go ahead and click on this plus icon, add in the same structure. And once again, we will go through the exact same process. However, this time the image is on the left-hand side. Then we want to add in a heading on the right, some text, and then rating. Add this in right there. So I'm going to call this person, let's say Kelly Armstrong. Of course, make this the same size. So this is 40. Click on the stars. Style, set this to 40. Make this blue. So grab this. This is blue. And then once again, click into this section and type out the testimonial from this client. Once that is added in, we can then select the image right here. And then what I also like to do is in between this section and this section, we want to just add in a divider. It adds a nice little touch. So just go to this second section, click on this plus icon, and then drag a divider in. Let's go to style and first of all, make this blue like that. Maybe make the weight a little bit more. So like, maybe like 4 right here. And that looks awesome. So what I would do is maybe go ahead and add another testimonial down here. However, not to drag this video out. You kind of see the point now and you know exactly how to do this. I would put it this way around. So once again, it alternates. Add in this section down here. And then we can click on update like that. Now, the final thing that we do want to add to this page is a top section right here so that it is congruent with the rest of the website. So let's go ahead and add a new section here. Then the first thing is going to be a heading. And in here, we will say client success stories, just like that. Then let's add text editor just beneath and say real stories from GeForce North clients. Then of course we will make these both white to fit in with the rest of the website. Just like that. Then we can go to the container. So once the container is selected, we will go to style, background type classic, then add the image in right here, then select. For the position, once again, center, display size cover, background overlay, this same blue color, and of course, opacity is 0.75. Then once again, we will add a spacer above and below. Let's set these both to 100 and then 100. And just like that, the client success stories page is now done and we have everything that we need right here. So all we are going to do is let's close all of these down, open up a new tab and go back to the dashboard. Then we can go down to pages, all pages, and find the client success stories. Click on view, grab this URL from the top, and then click on this button to go back to the homepage. Then let's edit with Elementor and go down and add this to this button right here under read more, link on the left hand side, and then we can link to this page right here. Let's go ahead and test that out. So we click on read more, and just like that, we are taken over to the client success stories page. So if we now go back to the homepage, the next page that we will create right now is this Meet Our Agents page. This section is going to allow our customers to get a deeper dive into our agents and learn more about them in a professional manner. Once again, if this is not a section or a page that you will be including in your website, you can use the timestamps in the description to skip to the next section. So once again, we will back out to WordPress right here, and then let's go into pages, add a new page, and let's title this Meet the Team. Then publish on this right hand side, publish again. Then we can go into edit with Elementor. And this time, let's actually create the top bit of the heading first. So we will add a heading into here. And then on the left hand side, let's say meet the team. And let's make this white. So text color, we will make this white. Then add in a new section, text editor. And then over on this left hand side, I'm just going to go ahead and create a quick description. Once that is created, once again, we will go to style, text color, and make this white. Then we can click on the container, and let's go ahead and go over to style, background type, classic once again, and let's add an image in here. So this one looks awesome. I really like this with like a house key. Let's click download, then add this image to the website, then select. That is now added in. So once again, on this left-hand side, the same as before, center, display size is cover. Background overlay, we will set to this same blue. So we can drop this in right here. Then opacity 0.75. And then once again, we will go ahead and grab a spacer, add this above, go back, spacer below. And let's change this to 100 by 100. Once we have created this top section, we now need to add in a section that is going to show all of the team members that we have. Now, right now on the website, I think I have 3 team members. Let me just double check. Okay, yes, so we have Mark, Harriet, and Kevin. So let's go over here, add in this new section. And then when it says select your structure, I'm going to go for this one right here to show the 3 people that I have as my agents. If you have a different number, like if you have 6, you could select this one. If you have 4, you could select this one or this one. It really depends how many agents you will be adding here. Now, as you can see, we have these different sections. I selected 3, so 3 are going to show up here. So what we want to do is go back to the main Elementor editor. In this search bar, search for image, and then we want to grab image box. Grab the image box into here, then go back, then once again image box into here, go back, and then once again image box into here. So let's go over to this first section right here. And what was the team member name? So I will go for, if Mark Kelly is the head realtor, then I will want him down here. So we will go for Harriet Bailey. So we can copy and paste this into the title, Harriet Bailey. Then the description, we can go ahead and write a short description right here. Once that is entered, we can then go to this next section over here. And we will do Kevin Mason. So for the title, delete this and say Kevin Mason. And then once again, we will go ahead and add a description. So that is now added. Then we can go down and add the final section, which is Mark Kelly. And then once again, I will go ahead and add a description. Just like that. And then with Mark, I'm actually going to go here and say head realtor, just like that. And now we can go ahead and add in different images. However, we don't want to just go in and add the same images as this section right here. Instead, what we are going to do is create circular images, as this looks a lot better for this section. So once again, we can go over to Canva, then create a design, custom size, and we will do 500 by 500. And then once the template loads in, go over to elements on this left-hand side. And in the search bar for elements, search for circle frame. We can then add a circle frame in right here and stretch this out the whole way. Then we can go to images and upload the image of all of these realtors. I have them right here. And then we can simply drag this realtor in, drag them over the circle icon right here, and this will create a circle icon image. If you double click on the circle, we kind of get this crop area where we can go ahead and fit this to size. So I will have that. Transparent background, super important once again that we save with a transparent background. Then let's add this guy in. Double click to make these changes. Perfect. Transparent background. And then we'll add in this guy. Bring this down a little bit. Perfect. Download. Transparent background. And now all we need to do is go in and add these images to each of these sections. So this first one is Harriet, then we have Kevin, and then we have Mark, just like that. Now, I actually want to go through and change the name to be blue. So let's go into style, then content. Then we can see this is the title, and then we have the description here. So let's grab this blue, go to the title. We can make this blue, do the same for Kevin. Content, title, blue, and then Mark, style, content, title, blue, like that. Perfect. So we now have this page created. Let's update and preview the changes for this. And right here, I actually don't like this header. So let's go in and change the position. And instead of having this center, let's go style, and let's try this. Let's try bottom center. Okay, top center maybe would be better. Let's go custom. And then I can do this myself. And then Y, we'll have up like this. That's better. Update. Take a look at this. And now this is what I am happy with. We have this meet the team page right here. So once again, to add this to the website, let's close out of all of these tabs. Open up a new tab right here. And go back to the WordPress dashboard. Then we can go over to pages on this left-hand side, all pages, and meet the team, view, grab the URL at the top, click this link to get back to the homepage, and then edit with Elementor. And I think we actually need to add a button here. Yes. So what we can do is just grab a button and add it. Let's try out a few of these places. It could go there. Like here, maybe. Okay, let's put it there. And then we can go and align this in the center, just like that. Once again, we will paste the link in. And then let's grab this blue to make the button blue. Style, and then background type is going to be this blue. And then let's go up to these buttons and grab the hover blue. and then add this in right here into the hover section, just like that. Now, if we hover over this, let's actually change this button to say, read more, or more info, update. Then we can preview changes. And if we click on this section, this will take us over to the Meet the Team page. So that is looking perfect right there. So we have most of this done. The next page that we are going to create, or edit, I should say, as we already have it up here, is going to be the About Us page. Now, we already have an About page created. So just go up to this top section, click into About, and this is going to take us over to the About page. From here, click into Edit with Elementor. And then the first thing that we are going to do is get rid of certain sections that we want to delete. So scrolling down, this section right here, where it says inclusive, responsible, respectful, we want to go ahead and delete this. We will leave the vision and mission. Then Meet the Teachers, we already have an entire page dedicated to this. So once again, we will delete this. What parents say, this is kind of a testimonial area. So once again, we can go ahead and delete this. And then this bottom section, we will leave. Let's now go ahead and update this just to save the changes so far. And if I actually look, this entire section is the top section. So what we will do is let's go in here and first of all, click into this blue text. Once this is highlighted on the right hand side, we can right click and then delete this. And then this About Us section as well. We will go ahead and delete this heading. Then we are left with kind of like this empty container at the top. So let's just click through these containers until this is highlighted. And then once this section is highlighted in this gray container, let's delete this container on the right hand side. Looks like we have another one here. So let's right click and delete this. And just like that, we now have this container deleted. So now let's hover over this top section and click on this plus icon from this tab that opens up. And we now have this section right here. This is where we are going to go ahead and create the top section. So this is congruent with the rest of the website. So first of all, let's add a heading in right here. Don't worry, I know that right now this is kind of over this top text bar. Don't worry, we will go ahead and change that. But for now, let's call this, let's say, our vision, mission, and story. Just like that. Then let's go back and add in a new section. Let's add a text editor above this. And in here, we will say about us. And next, we can add in a spacer. So this is going to be interesting. We want to add a spacer there. So the first spacer that we add in is just going to free up this top section. Then let's add another spacer under the spacer that we just added. So we now have two spacers. And this one we will turn to 100. Then we can go back, add another spacer underneath. And then we turn this to 100 as well. Then we can add in an image right here that's going to be the background image for this section. So we will just highlight this container at the top. And then let's go to Style, Background Type, Classic. Add in the image that we want to add in here. And then, of course, we want to go Position, Center, Display Size, Cover. Then go to the Background Overlay and make this the same color as the rest of the website. So we can go to Classic, Color, make this blue, and then 7.5, just like that. And perfect. So now actually let's try deleting this top spacer that we added. Let's see how this looks without. Okay, that looks fine. So we will leave that spacer deleted. Next, we want to go down to this section. So this second container right here. And the first thing that we are going to do is delete this background image. So highlight this container, then go to Style, find the image, and then click on this trash can icon in the top right corner. Then in here, we can go ahead and create like an About Us section or our story. So in here, we can click this top bit of text. Then on the left-hand side, we'll say our story. And in here, in this piece of text, we can delete this and write a section about our story. Once that section is added, we then want to go ahead and change this image. And once again, super important that we get the right dimensions here. So let's click on choose image on this left-hand side. And this image needs to be 600 by 600 pixels. So let's open up Canva, then create a design. Go to custom size and set this to 600 by 600. Then create a new design. And then I'm going to find an image in here that I want to add. So once again, we just add this into Canva. Make sure this is the entire way and filling up this section. Then we can share and download this. This time it doesn't need to be a transparent background. Then we can go over to the website. Let me close down some of these because these are confusing me once again. Choose the image, upload files, and upload the file that we just created. Then select. Right here we have this image. Then we can go down, and this is going to be about the founder. So over here, we can change this blue text to say founder of, and then your company name. Then we want to add a little bit of information about the founder in this section right here. So that is exactly what I will do right now. Once that section is created right there, we then want to add a quote by the founder. So in here, I'm just going to say like, I promise to get all of my clients the best possible deal and give them the best possible service. Right here, we then have an image with a signature. So this is completely up to you if you want to include this section. If you don't, we can just click on this, then go to the image box on the right hand side and delete. However, if we do want to add a signature here, once again, we need to make sure this is the right size. So 129 by 64. Let's go ahead and open this in Canva. Custom size, 129 by 64. Create design. And then in here, we want to go to this draw section on the left-hand side. Grab a pen, and then let's make this black. And then, what did I say this guy's name was? The owner is Ryan Jacobs. So in here, I could go for like, that's terrible, an R and then a J. Like that. This is the signature. Then we want to go download this with a transparent background. Download. And then all we have to do is put this image into here, just like this. And we now have this signature. Then for the title, I will change this to Ryan Jacobs, as that is the name of the founder. And then in here, we can go ahead and grab an image. Once again, we can go choose image, 320 by 440. So let's go to pixels. And what was this? 320 by 440. 320 by 440. Then we can resize this image, just like that. Upload this, and then just like that, we now have this section. From here, we can then go down, and we want to add in vision and mission. Remember, we mentioned this in the top. Actually, let's go in here and real quick change this text color to white for both of these. Just like that. And then we want to add in a quick sentence or two here about vision and mission. Just like that, I now have a vision and a mission section right here. And then going down, we want this to be the exact same as the homepage. So if we open this up, go back to the homepage right here. What did this say? A real estate agent that you can trust. So let's copy this and then go to this left-hand side, paste this in, and then paste this second section down here. And then for this button, we will once again click into this and say, see listings. So the text, see listings. The color there is cool. The only thing that we do need to change, it's kind of like the secondary color there. And then the background for both of these. Like that's not a very good background right now. I just realized. But let's first of all grab the hover color. Then we can go back to about, style, go to the hover, change the color right there, and then the text color to white as well. Perfect. Now all we need to do is find a suitable image for this section. So let's just close all of these down to make this less confusing. Close all of these down, then click into this bottom container. And I'm going to go ahead and find an image that suits this better. So we highlight this container right here, then go to style. Under the image, we can choose image and upload this one right here. Perfect. And then once again, let's go in here to the background overlay, make this the blue color, and then do 0.75 for the opacity. And then we want to go ahead and do the same for this section right here on the homepage. Find the image, upload files, and then once again, change the background overlay to be this blue, and then 0.75, just like that. We can then click on update. So the About Us page is now complete, and the very final page that we have to do on the entire website is going to be this contact page. So up in this search bar, or this menu I should say, click into contact, and this is going to take us over to the contact page. From here, click into edit with Elementor, and right now we have, looks like 3 containers. So let's open up this container, the top container on the right hand side, and click through until just this top section with like this text, the contact and this text. We have this grey box that looks like this. Then we can right click on this container and delete. Once we have done that, we then want to add a new section here at the top where we can add in a heading. And in here, we will say contact us. Then let's once again just make this simple. Let's go to style and make this text white. Then we can go back, add in a spacer above the text, set this to 100, then go back, spacer underneath, and then once again set this to 100. Then we can click on the container, find a suitable image for the Contact Us page. Then we can go to style, background type, classic once again, add in this image, and then once this is added in, we can select. Once again, we want to go position, center, display size, cover. Then we can close this, background overlay, classic, grab this blue color, just the same as we did for pretty much all of the other pages. Make this blue, 0.75. Perfect. So let's now click update, and then we can go in and edit this. We can then go down to this Contact Us form right here, click into this, and then over on this left-hand side, click on New Form, and we can go ahead and create a new form here. So you can go for any of these. There's like a lot of different forms that we can go for, but in this example, I'm just going to use the simple contact form. We can also add in different fields on this left-hand side. For example, we could add a drop-down and say something like, are you looking to buy? And then for the first choice, say like yes. The second choice, say no. And you can just, as I say, effectively add any of these fields right here. Ask any questions that you would like to. However, I'm just going to leave this as it is. Click on save once you are done, and then we can exit out of this. As you can see, that contact form is going to change, and we now have the contact form set up. Then we can go over to this section on the right-hand side, and right now it says general, parent, or vendor. So in here, I will leave this as general, and then just change this bottom text right here to say, for general inquiries, please contact this email. Then underneath, we can click into this email box. And right here, we just have text. So change this text to be your email. And then in the link section, we want to say, let me zoom in here so you can see it better. We want to say mail to, like this, then a colon, and then enter in your email. So I'll go like info@example.com. And with this, because we now said mail to in here, I will just show you. When people actually go on the website and they click into this link right here, this email has been created and it's to info@example.com, as that is what I entered in that box. So let's now back out of this, go back into Elementor, and then Under the parent section, I'm going to change this to say, looking to sell your property, and then say, if you are looking to sell your property with us, please contact us at this email. And then once again, we can click into this email, change the text that we want the email to, and then once again in this link, go mail to, and then enter the email in right there. Then for this last one, you can enter in something else here, like you could enter whatever and then add a description if you want to add a third email. However, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this section, then delete this button, delete this, just like that. And then maybe we want to add in a spacer up here at the top, and that way it's more central. We also have these social media icons that we can click into, and we can add all of our different social media right here so that people can contact us via social media. So in Facebook, I can click in, and right here, I can add in my Facebook link. We just paste it in here, and then people will be able to contact us on Facebook. We also have Twitter. If we want to get rid of one like YouTube, I can click this X, add a new item, and then I'll go for LinkedIn. We can add this in right there. And then once again, we just add the link underneath. Make sure this is all saved. And then we can scroll down to this next section where we can add in an address. So just click in here, and then over on the left-hand side, you can add in your address. Same with work hours. We click in, and then we can enter them on the left-hand side. And the same with the phone number right here. You can also add a location down here on Google Maps. If you want to delete this, just hover over the Google Maps and then click on this X. However, let's say that we are located in New York. We can type this in, and New York is going to show up right here. Then we can click on update, and we have now completed the contact us page. Now we basically have all of the pages of the website complete. All we have to do now is edit the header up here so we can add in a logo, add all of the pages to this menu, and also change this footer menu right here. So let's close down all of the tabs that we currently have open, and then navigate back to the homepage by clicking on this icon. Once we are here, we can then click into Customize at the top. So usually we were going into Edit with Elementor. However, this time we go into Customize. This is going to open up this new menu on the left-hand side, and we can edit any section of this header by simply hovering over the section we want to edit and clicking on this pencil icon. So the first thing that we are going to do is edit this menu. So hover over the menu, then click on this pencil icon, and then on the left-hand side, click Configure Menu from here. This is going to show us all of the menus that we have, and this top menu right here is the primary menu. So underneath primary menu, click on Edit Menu, and then right here, we can see this is made up of Home, About, Program, Admission, and Contact. Now we want Home, we want About, and we want Contact. We just want to get rid of these two. So click into Program, and then scroll down to Remove. Then go to Admission, open this up, and Remove. And these two sections are now removed from this top section. Then we want to click on Add Items. Add Meet the Team. Add in the client success stories, properties for sale, properties for rent, listings. We already have Contact, and we already have About. So from here, we can then close out of this menu, then click on Reorder, and we now want to reorder all of these menu items. So we want to go Home first, and then we will go Listings second. So we will pull Listings right up here. Home, Listings, then Properties for Sale. Put this third, Properties for Rent fourth. Then we will go Meet the Team, Client Success Stories, About, and Contact. So this is the current layout of the menu in this order. Then we can click on Done, and then back out of this section right here. Then we have this Enroll Now button that has been squished when we changed the menu. So click on the pencil icon next to this button, and then right at the bottom here, we have visibility. So just click on all of these icons, and it's going to turn them off for being visible on pretty much everything. Next, we want to change the color of this menu. Right now, it's not the best. So from here, we want to go into global on this left-hand side, then go into colors right here. And right here, we have all of the different colors that are on the website. So first of all, we want to change the actual text color to more of a black. So go into color 4 and then change this to black. Then we want to change this color for when we hover over. So go to color 1 and then we want to change color 1 to white. And as you can see, when we now hover over all of these different sections, this is going to change to white and is a lot more visible. Now, I should mention, just so you are not confused why this has happened, when we change these colors, it can sometimes mess with the actual color of the website that we created earlier. Let me go down and find an example. So this right here, this was blue and this has now changed to white because we just changed this menu. Super easy to fix though. All we have to do is go into Edit with Elementor and then find the text color that has changed. Click into this. Then we can go over to Style and then change the color back to this blue. Then update. Make sure this hasn't happened anywhere else. And just like that, so if you're looking about on the website and you notice that certain colors have changed, super easy, just go into Edit with Elementor and then you will be able to change that color back. But we now have this header all set up apart from the logo. So we want to go to the logo right here, click on this pencil icon, and on this left hand side, this is where we can add our logo. If you have a logo, fantastic, just click on change logo and then you can upload your logo here. However, if you don't, we once again will be using Canva because Canva makes it super easy to create a logo. So once you are on Canva, click on create a design in this top right corner. And then from here in this search box, search for logo. We then want to click into logo right here. And the reason that we do it this way is because Canva has a bunch of awesome logos that we can use and we can create these for the website. So make sure you are on the design tab on this left hand side. Then in search logo templates, we can search for real estate and it's going to bring up a bunch of real estate logos that we can use. And then I'm going to go with this one. I really like the look of this. I'm just going to change this to G Force North and maybe resize this a little bit. Make this smaller. Perfect. So I now have my logo. I will make this white and then this bit in the center, the same blue. So this is congruent with the website. We'll make this blue and then make this the same blue. Perfect. The background doesn't matter as when we go ahead and save this, we will save this with a transparent background. Once we have the logo, which took me about 2 minutes to create, this is why Canva is so awesome. We can now go back over, change the logo. So I will add this in right here. And just like that, my logo is now at the top. So we can just go ahead and back out of this now, make sure everything else is cool. Perfect. Let's now back out and click publish to save all of those changes. And then the last thing that we want to change down here is this footer. So we can go to any of this once again, click into this pencil icon and change it on the left hand side. So we can add an address into this section. Then right here where it says daycare, this is widget 2. So let's just delete this. Then quick link, we can delete this as well. We have a logo right here. So we can click in and then delete the current logo. Then add media, add in this logo, just like this, maybe a little bit smaller. We can then add some text under here. So once again, you can just completely delete this or you can say what you want. Then we have these social media icons. We can either delete this entirely by removing this element down here, or you can click in and link up all of your different social media. We also have this copyright. So what I would recommend doing is just moving this up to this section. And then we actually want to move these around. So copyright is over here. Perfect. And that is the footer right there. You can also add in different elements to the footer right here if you want, but we can then click on publish, go back, and this is the real estate website that is now fully complete. So that is how you can build a real estate website from scratch. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.